Hello everyone and welcome back to the KZ Lab. This is our 1980 Kawasaki LTD 650. As I mentioned to everyone, no, the carbs are not invisible, but I took them off. The bike has been sitting for a while. We just cleaned those in the recent video, so we're going to pop them back on. Did a couple of modifications. I changed the speedometer and recently put on these Dyna green coils. So we're going to change out the spark plugs as well. But the main plan for today is to get the carbs back on, pop the battery in, and see if this bike is going to start. Bike has a few mods. It's jetted for the K&N pod filters, as well as this beautiful Kirker exhaust. And what I really want to hear is the mean sound of this thing without that baffle. Pods have been keeping the engine safe, hopefully. Let's get the carbs back on. So one annoying thing to be aware of is just make sure the carb clamps are facing you and you've literally opened them up as far as they will go. So now that these are on, let's see if the carbs will fit in. If the rubber intake boots are hard and dry, this might even be impossible. But before I actually mount the carbs, I feel there's a little bit more space to get the throttle cables in. So let's get those going first. Another thing is to mark your throttle cables to save you a bit of time. That one is the front and there is the rear. How to install the cables easily is going to be its own video, because I've definitely spent hours and hours trying to get these on and off when the carbs were fully mounted, and there's a pretty easy trick to getting it right. So now I want to get the carbs on, and an easy way to do this is actually close the seat, sit on top of the bike, and use both hands holding the bike back with your feet, and just use your body weight to kind of gently wiggle them on. You have to be mindful the metal clamps go into that recess. If they're offset the way they are now, it's not going to give you the clearance you need. So just be gentle, take your time, and if you want, you can use a heat gun or something to soften the rubber, but these are still pretty soft, so let's give it a try. A quick judgment to kind of see if you have them all the way on is if the carb holder clamp is sitting pretty much flush with the front of this carb, and the nut part is in the groove. And a quick tip is to make sure your carb holder screw is aligned so you can get it from behind. You got to play all sorts of diagonals here. So once you notice just a little bit snugness, you don't want to go overboard, nothing crazy. It's soft rubber. Repeat that for the other side, and then you can go kind of left to right and make sure they're evenly tightened all the way around. Another thing I like to do is use these large zip ties to support the carbs from the back. Let's keep it going in part 2. Please stay tuned. Let's get this bike back on the road.